Hey, what's going on, guys? So I'm making this video for anyone who has a parent or grandparent who's having issues getting Real ID. And as you can see on the screen, Real ID is the gold star right here on your driver's license. It's now a requirement. However, when you go to the DMV, if you don't have a birth certificate, you can't get Real ID. And this is for people who have parents or grandparents that were born midwife back in the days, like the 40s, possibly 30s, that need a driver's license with Real ID that didn't have a birth certificate. So I'm going to show you the process, what I went through for my mother. Now, keep in mind, this works only for the state of Florida. It could be different for your state, but for the state of Florida, I'm going to show you the process that, we had to go through to get my mom a driver's license with Real ID, as you see on the screen. So we're going to start right over here. On this website right here, this is the state of Florida's website for Florida, and the website is going to be, and I'm sorry for not showing it, but it's www.flgov.com. When you get to this website right here, you're going to click on this spot that says Governor. See right here? Click on Governor. Now, when you see this page comes up right here, after you click on Governor, you're going to scroll down and you're going to click on Contact. So when you click on Contact, you're going to fill out, your mother's, whoever's needing the driver's license. You put their name here, email address, phone number, subject. Make sure the subject has something like Real ID and, / driver's license, so they know exactly what the issue is. Then you put here in the message box what's going on. We obviously know you need a license. You can't tell your whole story, so just put in there, hey, I'm a U.S. citizen, been here. They've been here for, 60, 70 years, but they don't have a birth certificate. You fill that out. Once you fill that out, you do your capture thing right here and submit. Someone will contact you from the state. And when they contact you from the state, they're going to tell you exactly everything that you need to get, for your mother, father, grandmother, grandfather, the items they're going to need to have sent to the state. And the things that my mother used were, she had to have my birth certificate, which shows she's my mother. Okay, I was born here. It shows she's my mother. She had to get her original Social Security application, and that comes from Social Security Administration, and they will have to mail that to you, and it will show on that your mother or father's or grandfather's birthplace. And if possible, they will need to get their transcripts from high school if possible. Okay, that helps out a lot. Of course, also a marriage license. My mom had that as well. So when you get all of those items together, you will have to go down to the DMV, and which, don't worry, you let the person from the state know that you have all that stuff first, and that person will call the DMV, and then you will have, a supervisor's name you will ask for. You just go right in, ask that supervisor to let you right in, and they will scan all those documents in to like some sort of shared folder. And when it's scanned in, it will automatically go to the person from the state who you spoke to. And when that person gets it, they will look over all the items and send it up to their people. And I'm assuming that's going to be Tallahassee in the state of Florida. And they'll get the approval. Hey, these are all the documents that were requested. It all lines up. And after that, they'll call your mother, father, grandmother, grandfather, let them know, hey, it's been approved. When can you go to the DMV to get your license? And you give them the day you want to go in, which probably the next day will be the best. And they contact the local DMV for you. And they just tell the supervisor, this person's been approved by the state of Florida. Let's get them their ID. Just like that. And you go right in there. And now one thing I will recommend is when you go down there, once it's all approved, I would still bring all your documents with you just in case there's any hiccups locally. And they say, oh, we don't have this. Bring the same stuff you gave before just to have it with you in case there's any issues. But for the most part, after you go down there the second time, they take your picture. And when I say your picture, I'm referring to your mother, father, or grandmother, grandfather's picture, and they get their license. So that's important to know. And again, like I said, it may be different for every state, but this is for the state of Florida. And I know some people will say, hey, well, my mother and father was born in this state. They have a birth certificate. Well, every state back in the 30s and 40s was different. So everything's different. So I'll show you the process one more time and go over with you just to make sure that everyone understands it and gets it, because I want to make sure, if you have a loved one that needs this help, that they're able to get the ID they need, the driver's license, I should say. So I'm going to go back to the home page. Again, the website is going to be www.flgov.com. When you get to this home page, you're going to click on the word governor right here. Click on governor. You're going to scroll down and click contact. Bam. And that's how you get this. Again, you need to put in their name, email address, phone number, subject, real ID / driver's license, and in the message box, briefly explain the issue, which is you don't have a birth certificate, but you've been here, they've been here their whole lives, 50, 60 years, and they need a driver's license. And then that when you submit it, right here at the bottom, someone from the state will contact them and tell them everything they need to do, which is those documents I told you before, and I'll tell you guys again so you guys can write them down. Your mother, father, or grandmother, grandfather, they have to have your birth certificate, which shows them as the parent on yours. They need to have their original Social Security application, high school transcripts, and if they do have a marriage license, that will help. And even the deed to your home will help, to their home will help as well. And I want to point something out too. There are 2 different types of birth certificates. Now, the regular birth certificate you get with the mother and father listed on it, just their names, you can get that locally at your county office. But if you live in a state that wants you to have a live birth certificate, that is where you have to mail in and get that. And in the state of Florida, you have to mail in to Jacksonville to get the actual live birth certificate. And the live birth certificate, just so you know, that one actually shows the mother and father and also the mother and father's place of birth. The regular birth certificate does not show the mother and father's place of birth. So that's the difference between the two, so you guys know. But for the most part, follow the steps I gave you for the state of Florida, and you guys should not have any issues. And you could try those same steps in your state, wherever you're from, and it might help. Maybe they want a live birth certificate instead of a regular birth certificate. So just keep that in mind, and share this video with anyone that you may know that has an elder that's looking to get their driver's license but doesn't have a birth certificate. I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.